The Singapore Sailing Federation, also known as SingaporeSailing, is the national sports association responsible for the management and organization of the sport of sailing in Singapore, with affiliations to organizations such as the Singapore National Olympic Council and the International Sailing Federation. It has Ng Ser Miang as its patron, and is currently headed by Dr Benedict Tan. It is headquartered at the National Sailing Centre at East Coast Park. History. Starting out in 1965, Singapore Yachting Association was founded, with Jack Snowden as its first president. He actively promoted the involvement of Singaporeans in sea sports. However, the history of Singaporean sailing dates back all the way to 1956, when members of the Republic of Singapore Yacht Club, including Snowden, competed in the Melbourne Olympics. The success of sailing prompted the government to reward the sailing fraternity by building the National Sailing Centre at East Coast Park. NSC was slated to be established as a base for Singaporeans to enjoy sailing as well as to produce international champions. The groundbreaking ceremony in 1997 was officiated by Ng Ser Miang, then chairman of the Singapore Sports Council. NSC was officially opened by the Prime Minister Goh Chok Tong in 1999. In 2000, the Singapore Yachting Association adopted the name of Singapore Sailing Federation, also known as SingaporeSailing. This marked the beginning of the corporatizing and professionalizing of the sport in Singapore. Formalized sailing in schools. The National Optimist Sailing Scheme, set up in 1987, actively roped in primary schools in the East Coastal Marine Parade area and devised structured sailing programs for students with sailing as their extracurricular activity. In 1999, the rapidly growing Singapore Optimist Fleet formed a National Optimist Sailing Squad comprising 20 sailors and 2 coaches. This squad was to be reviewed every 6 months, and marked the start of a new era of sailing in Singapore where young talents were identified for intensive training. Unveiled in early 2003, the High Performance Sailing Strategic Plan formed the roadmap for Singapore's Olympic quest. Teamwork was the essence of the blueprint, and in 2004, Singapore Sailing launched Power of One, a conference. A performance watershed occurred in mid-2005. The 420 pair of Teo Wee Chin and Terence Koh won the ISAF Youth Sailing World Championships, the first Asian team to get the gold medal in the championships since its inception 35 years before. Notable sailors.